Hey everyone, back for another video, and today it's another fan film to review, just like the last one. I put a pinned comment asking some people, what should I review next? And the creator of, the thing I reviewed said maybe I should review Buckeye Studios' Spider-Man Best of Enemies. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll definitely do that. So I watched it last night. I checked out some also info about them, and also asked if I can review their film. They gave me the approval. Um, but yeah, let's get started. So Buckeye's Spider-Man Best of Enemies. I liked it. I thought it was a pretty good fan film. I think the overall its story was quite interesting. Um, I like the costumes a lot. It didn't look really cheap, because clearly they had a bigger budget for it. And I think that these people who made this movie are going somewhere with this, and I all power to them to keep on doing what they're doing. But that's so far what I've said I think about the movie, but let's get into the gritty details. So, the story. So the story that what we can see is basically Peter Parker is retired as Spider-Man. We don't fully know why, but I assume it's related to someone dying. I assume. I wouldn't be surprised because Peter Parker literally gets almost every single person in his life dying. So, and he's basically living his life, and it's but basically there's someone who's kind of doing his job for him, and we'll get to him later. But yeah, basically it's kind of, and also Harry Osborn's in this, and Harry Osborn wants revenge for his dad, Norman Osborn, who died. So they're kind of doing what most Spider-Man fan films have done. Harry Osborn turns the Green Goblin, blah 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 blah. You know the deal. But so far, and also, oh right, Peter Parker's also with Gwen. Let's see, what else did I miss? But basically, he also is someone else is doing his job for him. Basically, that's the one and only Scarlet Spider, aka Ben Reilly. But they don't call him Ben Reilly because of certain reasons. They call him Eric Riley. I didn't fully understand the reason in the beginning, but they say the reason later on, but I'll get to that later. But yeah, I think that the story, it kind of reminds me of that storyline where Ben Reilly became Spider-Man, and Peter Parker kind of retired for a while to be with Mary Jane. It kind of reminds me of that. And also the storyline where Harry Osborn became Green Goblin, I think it was after Norman Osborn died, but it's they kind of mix those two together. It's quite interesting. But yeah, I think the story is good, but I'm also gonna give a little more criticism on this movie because not saying it's bad, but the problem I had was it was super the story felt very fast paced. It felt like we were going way too fast. I know it's probably because it's almost 40 minutes, and I can understand that. But even with those 40 minutes, it felt like it was just going way too fast, and I had to catch up what was going on. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of oh my god. There's some Marvel movies that actually kind of did something like this. I'm just trying to think of good examples. Huh. I gotta think, but I think mostly the early kind of the phase. I think Phase 4 had the most. Phase 4 kind of browsed through some of their movies are very fast paced, but yeah, I felt like this one was a little too fast paced for me. I feel like I had to it felt like I had to slow down because there was a lot of things going on, and but yeah, I don't even with that. I still think the story was good. I just needed to. That's why I also rewatched it again to really get what was going on most of the time, because there's some things I feel like I missed. Uh, but yeah, I think that, yeah, but it's still that's the only thing I'm gonna say so far about critiquing. But let's get into the characters. Okay, let's get into the man himself. It's in the title, Spider-Man himself, aka Peter Parker. So, uh, I think he's quite interesting. It's an interesting take on Spider-Man. Basically like make him very reluctant on being Spider-Man, like Peter Parker. I think it's quite fascinating, but also a cool idea, you know, to him trying to get back into it because he doesn't want to get people in danger, and you can understand it, and because, well, he was kind of right because of spoiler what happens in the end. But still, I think that it also is. He's also quite. Also, I like the actor. I'm assuming that it's the guy who created this, and he did a great job. I think his interpretation of Spider-Man is like kind of reminds me of Andrew Garfield, like a little bit. Like he's very like less goofy, or like more serious, but he's like, I would say because it's just like he's a lot more violent than the other Spider-Man I've seen in like most fan films or like in any movie, like except Andrew Garfield, because Andrew Garfield was the more violent one than the Toby or Tom. So he kind of feels like the Andrew of fan films, and I kind of like that. So yeah, but that's what I had to say on him. I'm very curious where his arc will be going in the next film. But anyway, let's get to the next one. One of my favorite Spider-Man characters, Scarlet Spider. So Scarlet Spider's in the movie. I'm glad he is, and they didn't make him a punching bag like the comics did, because I've been telling people this, that I get so upset when they just make Scarlet Spider, they kill him off, becomes bad guy, kill him off, now he's a bad guy. He's actually a bad guy right now. And it's just like, please, just stop making bad guy and get killed. That's the only thing he's really known for. It's ridiculous. But in this one, I think it's pretty interesting that he's the one that is trying to like do most of the work. Like he's trying to like get Peter Parker back into being Spider-Man. I think that's quite interesting. And he's like also, he's less dramatic on things. It's like you can tell, like when, like for example, when Spider-Man like swings around and comes down like on a pose, he's just like, Scarlet Spider's like, oh, you're so dramatic. It's just like, it kind of shows a little personality of how Scarlet Spider is. He's like, he's less dramatic. He gets things done, and he's a lot more like, I would say the determined. I'm not saying Spider-Man isn't determined, but he's like a lot more like straightforward. I kind of like that. I think that's pretty cool. And I've always thought Scarlet Spider being like that, because I don't think, I see some versions of Scarlet Spider where he's just Peter Parker. And yes, of course, he is a clone, but still, I think that I like it when Scarlet Spider's a lot more like more serious, but he like does a lot more interesting stuff that differentiates him from Peter Parker. And I still wish that Marvel Comics just kept the idea of him just being Spider-Man. I think that would have been really cool, just to keep him as Spider-Man. Let Peter Parker maybe join in once for a while, but don't kill him off or something. I don't know. That's what I feel they should have done. But yeah, this is really cool. I think Scarlet Spider is also, his costume in the movie looks pretty cool too. I actually another because I'm gonna give about his costume though. Wait, hold on. Before I get to that, I just forgot. I didn't talk about Spider-Man's costume. How could I forget? It's great actually. I think it kind of reminds me of oh my god, hold on. There's an art style of Spider. I forgot the artist's name, but he drew the Ultimate Spider comics. Hold on. Let's see. Artist. Because I know he has a name. I don't know how I can forget his name. Brian Michael Bendis. Oh my god. How can I forget Brian Michael Bendis? Yes. the eye, it kind of reminds me of them because I'm looking at pictures of him. Or yeah, Mark Bagley. Yeah, Mark Bagley. Uh, that's who I was thinking about. Yeah, so Brian Michael Bendis, Ultimate Spider. He kind of looks like him, but like also in general like Mark Bagley's art, because Mark Bagley's art like has like a he like draws Spider with like this certain eye shape, and Spider and Best of Enemies. I'm comparing the two. They look very similar. Looks very like Mark Bagley, and I don't know if this is what they're intending to do. But if it was, that's very cool because Mark Bagley, I actually really like how he draws Spider-Man. I like his he looks very like I like how he just draws the eyes. I think that's why I like his art style a lot. So it's very dynamic. But he looks I think that if I would choose any Spider design, I would choose Mark Bagley's or slash Ultimate. But yeah, I think Spider-Man's costume is really cool. It's a little off-putting to see him wear regular shoes though. Like, this is a little critique also, is I feel like him wearing different colored shoes than the rest of the costume looks super off-putting. Because I see in like some shots, because like I said, I have it up here. There's a fight scene where he fights these two guys, and there's some shots where you can see his shoes. Hold on. Dang ads. Hold on. Okay. I won't show it because I don't want to be copyright or anything like that. Here we go. Okay, yeah, there's a shot of where he has these shoes. I don't know what kind of shoes they are though. Yeah, but I understand it's because, he doesn't want to walk around barefoot because basically it's like socks. It's like, because I have a Spider-Man costume myself, but if I were making a film like this, I would personally find red shoes. But if he couldn't find red shoes, I'm not gonna hold that against him. But I feel like that's a little thing to do next time, is find red colored shoes to make sure it fits in the costume a lot more, because to me it's a little off-putting. But overall, I still like Spider-Man's costume. I also think the eyes look very well done. The webs don't look super unorganized. Yeah, it looks good. But back to what I was saying about Scarlet Spider. Scarlet Spider, I really do like his costume. He looks great, except one flaw. His symbol's a little too big for me. I don't know why, but when I see Scarlet Spider's symbol, because I'm looking and seeing both of them, it looks a little too big. I understand. It's good. Like, the suit's really cool looking. But that one thing with the symbol really bothers me. Like, I feel like it shouldn't take over his whole sweater. And also, another thing, the sweater's it's a little too big. Like, I know it should technically be let's do I think right here. Like, I think that's where I can see from these images of him. Because I'm comparing, and most of them I can see, he has also cut shoulders. They got that part. Him wearing the hoodie, I think that's cool. Personally, that's another thing I'm going to critique about Scarlet Spider, not just the movie itself. I'm not blaming the movie for this. I never understood why Scarlet Spider needs a hoodie, because that seems really dumb thing to do, because with the villains can choke him, and guess what? They do. One of them did. I think it was Venom, and he had to rip it off because it's what was the point of the hoodie? It looks cool. But I think it's him wearing a hoodie like that doesn't really, it seems like a really stupid decision. So, because with it, I don't know, it bothers me. But anyway, that off topic. But like I said, I think the costume looks cool. I just think the symbol is a little too big for me. For my taste, it looks a little too big. But yeah, I think another thing about Scarlet Spider, he is you can kind of say he's not really one of the main characters though in this movie. I heard he was a bigger deal in one of the other Buckeye Studio Spider movies. Um, that what I've heard from him in his channel, Spider Retribution, he's not the biggest fan of it. And I originally was thinking, oh wait, like I thought they were connected or something originally. But Best of Enemies, like what I've heard is a reboot. So, and I heard Scott Spider was like a lot different, and he like was like he kind of like helped Spider-Man like do his gadget along. And this one he doesn't really do that. This one's a lot more in line with the character. You know, if they call him Eric Riley, but they do say his actual name later on with another character that I'll get to after the next one. The main villain of the movie, Harry Osborn, aka the Green Goblin. Okay, so Harry Osborn, I think this version is interesting. He's a lot more like broad of what he does. He has like a full on group. You know, it's not like he's on his own. Because I remember most of the time, what I've seen from Green Goblin, he usually works on his own. But he's a good planner, you know. This one does kind of remind me of a version of Green Goblin from Spectacular Spider-Man, where he's like, he wants to take over the whole criminal organizations and all that, because he wanted to take over Tombstone. He wanted to take over that, and he also made other villains like Molten Man, you know, and Doc Ock. So it kind of reminds me somewhat of that version, but I think, my opinion, nothing against the actor. I think the actor played Harry, aka Green Goblin, is great. But I'm going to give a little critique here. I feel him turning good in the end was very rushed. Like when he was like kicking Spider-Man's ass basically, and then it's just like, the serum, it's killing me. Oh, never mind. Now I'm good now. I forgive you. Well, you know, that's basically what happened. It's just like I'm like, wait, hold on, what? Why did you just turn good all of a sudden? I don't know. It bothered me. It really bothered me. I don't know if that's what they're intending, but it felt to me very rushed. And also, Green Goblin's costume. Okay, we need to discuss this. I'm not a big fan of it. The mask looks pretty badass. I like it. It's like a green Oni mask. That's a cool idea. But it would have been perfect if he had the hat and the goggles. It would have been great. It would have been great. And they didn't really do that. I guess it's probably because it's a different version of Green Goblin. It's not like they weren't going for a really goofy one. They're kind of going for a little more realistic version. And I don't have a big problem with that. But, you know, I think that overall, he's interesting. And I also like them. Oh, forgot. They also had these illusions like they did with the Sam Raimi movies, with him seeing Norman Osborn. And what I've seen from most fan films, they do the same thing. They do this all the time. It gets a little annoying. This version I like, because Norman Osborn, he makes me laugh that whole scene, because he's like, listen here, you little shit. And I'm like, oh my god, dang. He's so like hardcore. And I love it. I want to see more of this Norman Osborn. Whoever played him, you did a fantastic job. Like, this dude was hilarious, and I loved him. So, but yeah, I think that, also another thing, Norman Osborn's death, when they show it, was one of the funniest deaths I've ever seen. Literally, he was putting the serum in right way because he was gonna fight Spider. He was like, "Oh no, what have I done?" It's like in my head, he was like saying, he was like, "I made a grave mistake." Oh, I thought that was funny. I thought that was kind of funny. And it was unintentionally funny. Like one unintentionally funny thing from one other Spider-Man fan from Spider-Man Vengeance. You killed it. It's like when Spider-Man said he said to Green Goblin, it's like, you killed a child with cancer. When it kind of sounds like he was saying Green Goblin um killed him with cancer, and I thought that was hilarious. Um but like I said though, I think that this is what it kind of reminded me of. It kind of reminded me like it was unintentionally funny. I don't know why, but every single thing I've seen from Norman Osborn Green Goblin from most fan films, he is so freaking funny. And I need to see more goofiness from Norman Osborn. It's great. But anyway, uh, next character. Okay, so this is the thing I was teasing about Scarlet Spider. The Jackal is in the movie, and no, he's not some goblin looking dude. Um, it's a he looks more like the one that Ben Riley Jackal, where he has like the Jackal mask. So, you know, of course. And I actually think that's quite interesting and actually pretty innovative thing to do because like, oh, we don't have the budget and it'll be really stupid to do a really like a goblin looking dude, like with the Jackal. So it's like, oh, we can improvise. We could just do Ben Riley Jackal design and apply it to the main one. And that's a good idea, And it looks good looking. Except he doesn't like wear the mask that much, sadly. He like takes it off like every time he shows up. I think that sucks. So, but I would not be surprised if we see more of him in the next movie because of what they were teasing. But the Jackal also thought it was also intriguing that they make the Jackal like kind of Harry's like basically like his best friend kind of, but like also like his best man, like he's like the guy who like takes care of everything and he's in like second in command. I like that. I think that's a cool idea with Jackal, and that he actually like cares for Harry. He's not gonna like backstab him in the back or anything like that to do his own plans to clone people. And and I'm also kind of curious on this, but question to you, Buckeye Studios. Gwen Stacy was in the movie. So does that mean you're going to make the Jackal clone Gwen Stacy? I swear to God, if you guys do it, that would be amazing. I would love that to see that. And see, oh, which is the real one? Because that happened in the comics. That'd be kind of cool. I'm just saying, just to point out an idea for you. But I don't know if you've already filmed it. If you didn't put it in. Oh well. Just an idea. But anyway, but they don't like go too much into the Jackal either. Like I think it's probably also because, like I said, because he's gonna be a bigger deal in the next one. So yeah, that's what I gotta say about Jackal. Next we got the Shocker. The Shocker is in the movie. He's kind of just a lackey, but I think he had a lot of personality for what I've seen from him. I've heard that they're gonna use him again in like his own movie. I think that's quite interesting that like they love the Shock, like Buckeye Studios. I tell you right now, they love the Shocker so much, and I'm glad because I think Shocker needs his love. He needs his love. He needs the attention because he was so wasted in Spider-Man Homecoming, and he didn't even like wear the mask. He didn't even like have that cool suit, I wouldn't even technically call him Shocker, but this version I like. I think that what they teased from him, like that he like worked for like Hammerhead, but like it seems like he also is kind of gonna turn good. Is quite interesting. And also I'm also gonna ask this: why does like Shocker's mask? Because he wore the mask for a little bit. Why did it look like Cabal's mask from Mortal Kombat? I was wondering that. Like, it looked super similar. I couldn't tell if this did you guys get like a Cabal mask? Because it looks super similar. I don't know, but because I'm like looking, yeah, it does look very similar. Uh, but I don't know where you guys usually like get all these stuff. I'm assuming it from Etsy or like a cosplay site. But I swear the mask looks pretty cool. But I would personally, when you guys use it again, I would color it because it doesn't like look super interesting either. Though in my opinion, I feel like you guys should color it, like color like maybe like an orange with the little stripes, if you can. If you can't, that's fine. But I think that'll be pretty neat. You know, it's like, oh, to fit his comic book aesthetic. You know, kind of like what, but like more realistic. Kind of like what the Insomniac one did. I'm not saying you guys should do that. That'll be probably impossible. But give some of that. I like that reference to it. But yeah, that's what I gotta say about Shocker though. He's not really like in the mood that much, but I know they're gonna use him again. So, but you know, let's get to my hopes for the next one. I'm hoping that like we get more explanation of what the whole deal with Scarlet Spider is, because they kind of show a post-credit scene where the Jackal flat out just says to Scarlet Spider, "You're a clone of a guy called Eric Riley, but you also have some of the DNA of Peter Parker." So it's like, oh, so that's how he has the powers. So he has the powers because he's a clone of Eric Riley, but a little bit of Peter Parker. So, but he is Ben Riley. He is Ben Riley. So he's not Eric Riley. That's a completely different person that they say died a year. So I'm like, very interesting. I wonder how that happened. And it makes me theorize that's why Peter Parker gave up or like kind of retired as in being Spider-Man. And it's because he let that person die and he just had enough of it. And maybe that's why he doesn't want to work with Scarlet Spider, because it kind of makes him think of that. That's my theory. It's quite interesting that I feel like that they're kind of teasing that though, because I feel like, but like I said, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe all the things just now that I just say could be false. That's something I just want to point out. But yeah, also from the trailer, because I saw the trailer of the new one, I think what's it called? Yeah, Dead Man No More. They're gonna do Kane, not Kang the Conqueror, but Kane that villain with, oh god, what's his name? He had like a different villain name. I forgot his name, but he was Scarlet Spider too. He had like the claws come out from his hand. I'm excited to see him. But yeah, I think that this Dead Man No More, because that's the next one, is gonna be, I hope, a more condensed version of the Clone Saga, but like better. You know what I mean? I hope so. I crossing my fingers that it's gonna be good, because the last one was super good. So I hope they keep up the pace and pump out more good movies. And you know, and also I've heard that I might also review their Daredevil fan film, because even if it's shorter, and also their Punisher one. But yeah, because you know let's review, not because they didn't just do Spider-Man. I think it'll be cool to also focus on those. But yeah, I think that's all I really gotta say. I'm going to say is I'm thinking we could give this an 8, or actually a 9, 9 out of 10. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. See you guys next time.